Did you know that one of the world's first declarations of human rights came from ancient Persia? We often picture ancient empires as cruel, but Persia's story challenges that. The evidence? A small clay object, the Cyrus cylinder. Discovered in Babylon, this 6th century BC artifact carries a declaration from Cyrus the Great, founder of the Persian Empire. Instead of boasting about conquest, Cyrus spoke of restoring freedom to captured peoples. He allowed exiles to return home and worship their own gods. A radical idea for the time. In an era when conquerors destroyed cultures, Cyrus did the opposite. He presented himself as a liberator, not a destroyer. The cylinder describes how he freed those subjugated by the Babylonians, including the Jewish people, who returned to Jerusalem. This act is even mentioned in the Bible, highlighting its historical importance. The Persian Empire was more than armies and battles. It was a story of ideas. It experimented with ruling a diverse population through tolerance and respect. This surprising fact about human rights is just the beginning. Ancient Persia's approach to justice and freedom has echoed through history. As we explore this civilization, remember the roots of human rights are older and more widespread than we often think. The Persian Empire's legacy is not just in its conquests, but in its vision for a just society. The Cyrus cylinder opens a door to a world where power and compassion could coexist. Let's step through that door and discover how Persia changed history. The story of human rights didn't start in modern times. It began in the heart of the ancient world, and it all started with a king who dared to be different. Before their empire, the Persians were humble, semi-nomadic tribes on the Iranian plateau. Surrounded by mountains and deserts, they lived in small clans, moving with their herds. For centuries, they paid tribute to powerful neighbors like the Assyrians and Babylonians. Their society was simple, no grand cities, just a shared language and culture. This unity would later fuel their rise. The political landscape was always shifting. Empires rose and fell. The Persians were subjects of the Medes, their close relatives. But from within the Median kingdom, a new leader emerged. He saw a chance to unite the Persian tribes and break free from Median control. Harnessing their toughness and skill as horsemen, he transformed scattered clans into a disciplined force. The world was about to witness the birth of a new superpower. From the dusty plains of Iran, the Persians would rise to change history. Their journey from obscurity to dominance began with ambition and unity. The stage was set for a leader who would turn these tribes into an empire. The Persian story is one of resilience, opportunity, and transformation. Soon, the world would know their name. And it all started with a dream of freedom. Cyrus the Great transformed the Persians from a minor tribe into a global power. Born in Anshan, a vassal of the Medes, Cyrus came from the Achaemenid Dynasty. Legends surround his early life, but what matters is his brilliance as a leader. In 559 BC, he became king and began uniting the Persian tribes. His charisma and vision inspired loyalty. Cyrus led a swift rebellion against the Medes, capturing their capital and uniting both peoples. But he didn't stop there. He set his sights on Lydia, defeating the famously wealthy King Croesus. With this victory, he gained control of the Greek cities in Anatolia. His empire now stretched from the Mediterranean to eastern Iran. In 539 BC, Cyrus conquered Babylon, cleverly diverting the Euphrates to enter the city. After this triumph, he issued the declaration on the Cyrus cylinder. Cyrus became known not just as a conqueror, but as a just ruler. He earned the title, Father of his People, setting a new standard for emperors. His legacy was not just in territory, but in the way he ruled. Cyrus's vision shaped the Persian Empire and the world. He showed that greatness could be built on justice as well as power. After Cyrus, the empire faced chaos until Darius, a distant relative, seized control. Darius the Great was not just a conqueror, he was a master organizer. He divided the empire into provinces, or satrapies, each governed locally but loyal to the king. Darius set up checks and balances. Military generals and secret agents, the king's eyes and ears, kept satraps honest. He introduced a single currency, standardized weights and measures, and made Aramaic the official language of administration. These reforms unified the empire and promoted trade. Darius's system allowed local customs to flourish under imperial rule. His innovations turned a patchwork of conquests into a stable, lasting state. The Persian Empire became a model of effective, multicultural governance. Darius's genius was in making diversity a strength, not a weakness. His legacy was an empire built to endure. Darius knew that communication and movement were key to ruling a vast empire. His solution? The Royal Road, a highway stretching 1,700 miles from Susa to Sardis. Relay stations with fresh horses allowed messengers to travel at unprecedented speed. Herodotus marveled at this system, inspiring the motto of modern postal services. Messages that once took months, now arrived in days. The Royal Road wasn't just for officials, it became a lifeline for trade and travel. Merchants and ideas flowed across the empire, boosting its economy and unity. The road symbolized the empire's organization and reach. Darius's infrastructure made the world feel smaller and more connected. The Royal Road was the empire's backbone, linking people, power, and progress. Darius wanted a capital that reflected Persia's glory, so he built Persepolis. Unlike ordinary cities, Persepolis was a ceremonial masterpiece, hosting grand imperial events. Built on a stone terrace, it showcased the best craftsmen from across the empire. The Apadana, its grand audience hall, was supported by towering columns. Reliefs on the stairways depicted dignified delegations from every nation, bringing tribute. These carvings sent a message, unity, and respect under Persian rule. Persepolis stood for nearly 2 centuries as a symbol of wealth and power. Kings after Darius added to its splendor, making it the sacred heart of the empire. But its magnificence also made it a target for future conquerors. Persepolis was both a celebration of empire and a reminder of its vulnerability. Its ruins still echo the ambition and artistry of ancient Persia. The city's legacy endures, even after its fall. As Persia expanded west, it clashed with the fiercely independent Greeks. The conflict began in Ionia, where Greek cities rebelled against Persian rule. Athens supported the revolt, angering King Darius. In 490 BC, Persians landed at Marathon, but the outnumbered Athenians won a stunning victory. 10 years later, Xerxes launched a massive invasion, crossing into Greece with a huge army. The Greeks made a heroic stand at Thermopylae, but Athens was burned. Yet the Greeks rallied. At Salamis, their navy destroyed the Persian fleet. Xerxes was forced to retreat, ending Persia's westward ambitions. The Greco-Persian Wars became legendary, halting Persian expansion and boosting Greek confidence. The struggle shaped both civilizations for centuries. Persia remained powerful, but the balance of power had shifted. The world watched as East and West collided. The legacy of these wars still resonates today. Persia remained a superpower for 150 years after the Greek Wars, but cracks began to show. Internal struggles for the throne and rebellious satraps weakened the empire. The court at Persepolis became known for luxury and excess. Reliance on mercenaries eroded the loyalty and discipline of the Persian army. The once mighty empire grew slow and less adaptable. Meanwhile, a new power was rising in the North Macedon. Alexander the Great united Greece and invaded Persia in 334 BC. In a series of brilliant battles, Alexander defeated the Persian forces. At Gaugamela, he won a decisive victory. King Darius III fled and was killed. Alexander marched to Persepolis and burned it, ending an era. The Persian Empire, once the world's greatest, fell to a new conqueror. But its influence would not disappear with its fall. The twilight of Persia set the stage for a new world. The fall of Persepolis ended the Achaemenid Empire, but not Persian influence. Persian models of governance, like the satrapy system, inspired future empires. Alexander adopted Persian administration and encouraged cultural blending. Later empires, including Rome, borrowed Persian solutions for ruling diverse lands. Persian art, architecture, and infrastructure left a lasting mark on the world. The idea of a just, tolerant ruler, embodied by Cyrus, became a global ideal. Zoroastrianism influenced major world religions. The ruins of Persepolis and the Cyrus cylinder still inspire today. Persia's story reminds us that tolerance and vision can shape history as much as conquest. To understand our world, we must remember the lessons of ancient Persia.